I created this story because of my weird autistic fascination with the Wisp from Sonic Colors. They're a really an amazing species, and their abilities just vary so much in a way that I find interesting. This story takes place in an alternate universe where, in the DS version, the Nega Mother Wisp escapes Eggman's captivity and gets into deep space, and it's the true final boss of the DS version of Sonic Colors. But in my story, which is an alternate universe, the Wii version, Eggman ends up trapping her in the mines because he fears her, and she was getting too out of control. Okay, we can continue from here. So, I'm trying to record this before someone comes in. Alright, so let's see. The Abyss Below Prologue. 2 months later. Planet Wisp was healing, but it would never be the same. Eggman's empire had crumbled his artificial amusement park. It abandoned his factories, and rotting under a sunset sky for the first time in years, the planet's surface was peaceful. Lush fields untouched by industry, rivers running clear, the sky unattained by smog. And yet beneath it all, something was still wrong. So now we have a new character. His name is Kale. Kale had spent the last 2 months stationed here, acting as GUN's only operative, monitoring the recovery efforts. The recovery efforts of most of the Wisps. Most of the Wisps had fled into space away from the nightmares Eggman had left behind, but those who remained clung to the fragments of their old lives and scattered and lost. He never expected to meet them face to face. Chapter 1: A Strange Friendship. It started with the Cyan Wisp. Kale first saw it near the wreckage of one of Eggman's old generators, a small glowing creature hovering near the exposed wires. Its lights pulsed softly, flickering in an uncertain rhythm, like a heartbeat struggling to find its pace. It watched him cautiously, not afraid or hostile, but curious. Kale wasn't sure what to do. He hadn't interacted with the Wisps outside of mission briefings. They were sentient, sure, but distant, existing in their own strange energy-driven world. But this one lingered, returning each day near his camp, hovering just out of reach. Then came the green hover wisp, drifting lazily near his supply crates. 2 peak spike wisps tumbling around like restless spirits circling his gear. Kel never spoke to them, not really, but they started to follow him, and soon he realized they were his only companions here. Chapter 2: Whispers of the Mind. It wasn't until the second month that Kel first heard of the Abyss Mines. Not through reports, not through surveillance, but through the Wisps themselves. It happened late in the evening when the sky was a deep purple streaked with the remnants of daylight. The Cyan Wisp had been playfully darting through these ruins, tracing invisible patterns in the air until it stopped. Kale followed its gaze. Beyond the rolling hills, scattered wreckage, beyond the ruined factories and dismantled machinery, the mines loomed. A cavernous wound in the planet's surface. Deep. Unnaturally deep. The other Wisps stilled, their energy dimming slightly. Kale frowned. "What is it?" he says. One of the Wisps flickered. The Cyan Wisp flickered once, an erratic pulse, then vanished behind the hills. None of them spoke, not with words, but Kale felt their fear. Chapter 3: The Descent. Oh crap. Kale waited 3 days before deciding to investigate. The Wisp tried to stop him, not directly. They couldn't speak, but through the way their energy flickered uneasily. They refused to follow him beyond the ruins, hovering at the edge of the hills, pulsing dimly like fading lanterns. Kale adjusted his flashlight, securing his sidearm. He didn't expect trouble, but something about the mine's silence unsettled him. The entrance was partially collapsed, steel beams twisting under unseen pressure, as if something tried to claw its way out. The air was thick with dust, and yet the ground felt undisturbed. No footprints, no signs of life. Eggman's old terminals lined the walls with their monitors cracked, dark, filled with corrupted data streams. Then, a pulse of energy. Kale froze. His flashlight flickered, its beam slicing through the dust. Deep within the tunnels, Something was glowing. Something purple. Chapter 4. She never left. Kale moved carefully, his footsteps barely disturbing the ground. The deeper he went, the stronger the glow became, pulsing with an unnatural rhythm. It wasn't the warm, vibrant light of a normal wisp. It was cold. Wrong. The walls changed. The deeper Kale ventured, the more he saw oily residue smeared across the steel beams. Deep claw-like gashes marking surfaces that should have never been untouched. That shouldn't have been untouched. Then came the low vibration. Not machinery, not wind, but a heartbeat. Kale stopped, his breath hitched. In the darkness ahead, something moved. Not footsteps, not mechanical grinding, but something wet, something crawling. The purple glow intensified, revealing twisted, unnatural tendrils creeping along the walls. Slow, deliberate movements pulling themselves closer. Then a mouth appeared, not in front of him, but above him. The tendrils unfurled, revealing glistening, jagged teeth, shifting inside the writhing coils of energy. Not flesh, not steel, something in between. Kale stepped back, the mouth twisting, exhaling a deep, rattling breath that shook the mind itself. She wasn't gone, she was waiting, and now she had found him. Kale didn't breathe. The mind was alive. The glow shifted, twisting, withering, like someone desperately pulling itself together. The tendrils that spilled from the wall stretched toward him, trembling with unnatural energy. They weren't just limbs, they were watching. The mouths within them opened, slowly, lined with jagged teeth, shifting teeth, pulsing with a deep, violent energy. No, violet energy, sorry. They breathed. Kale struggled. Kale staggered backwards, pressing against the cold, hard steel of the cavern wall. His pulse hammered against his ribs, forcing himself to stay silent. He had the sinking feeling that the sound was dangerous here. Then the eyes. They blinked open, embedded within shifting tendrils. Glowing, dark, hollow, unnatural. No pupils, no recognition. Just hunger. Cal clenched his jaw, forcing himself to move. The energy continued pulsing, stretching across the steel like veins, twisting the structure, reshaping the walls. She was closing him in. And that's the end of part 1. I hope you enjoyed this series. I plan to continue more. Let me guys know if you want a good or a bad ending in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next video.